Hello and welcome to Alumni Pride. Thank you so much for watching us today. My name is Mia Cooley. This show is designed to help us catch up with Susquehanna graduates and find out what they're up to now. Today's guest is Mrs. Roberta Thoman. She is a member of the class of 1965. Thank you so much for joining us today.
You're welcome. Pleasure to be here.
Mrs. Thoman was also named the 2010 Distinguished Alumni. As a recipient of this award, she joins the distinguished group and will be recognized at the commencement services in June. How does it feel to be recognized as this year's Distinguished Alumni?
It's a great honor, and not one I anticipated. I feel very humbled because I know that there are a lot of great alumni out there. But for the 30 years that I taught, it seems like a very big honor to be selected.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
You retired from teaching after last school year. What have you been up to?
I called this my drifting year. I gave myself a year to kind of drift and find out what I'd really like to do. So I have been doing a lot of reading instead of having to reread Wuthering Heights and Heart of Darkness for the 21st time. I've been able to read a lot of the books that I wanted to read. I just got a dog, and that's been an interesting experience. She's a little bit of a live wire, so she keeps me busy. And I like to walk on the rail trail, but that's come to a screeching halt now with all the snow.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to find my way. I'm serving right now on the Alumni Committee and the foundation for the school district. So that keeps my hand in here at Susquehanna.
Cool. You're still involved, like you said, with the Alumni Council and the School District Foundation. How important is it to you to stay involved?
It's very important because this place, this district, Susquehanna, has been my life for 30 years. And I went here and my kids went here. And I just wanted a chance to stay associated with it and to work in some way to give the kids that are still here some opportunities.
What do you remember most about your days at Susquehanna?
I figured you would ask that. So I've been thinking. But where do you want to start? As a student?
As a student.
We'll start as a student. I enjoyed my 4 years here, actually 6 years here, because I don't know if you know, but Susquehanna used to be a senior high school.
Oh, I didn't
so
know
I
that.
actually came to this building in 7th grade.
Wow.
Yeah, those seniors were really, really big. I enjoyed sports. I played sports. Actually, the one sport we had, volleyball. I enjoyed theater, never had big roles, but I used to love to work with the sets. And I sang in the choir and competed for the district and regional choirs. All of those things that I did were great opportunities for me. This school district was a small school district and a rural school district, so these were the first time that I had to do a lot of those things. And the kids today have a lot more opportunities, but I was just really so appreciative of the opportunities I had.
Did you have that one teacher that meant a lot to you and inspired you?
I had several teachers, but two in particular. One was my English teacher, but he was also my volleyball coach.
Okay.
So he was inspiring on two different levels there. But I think he's the one who pretty much influenced me to become an English teacher. I always knew I wanted to be a teacher. I just had too many ideas of what I could do, and I really learned a lot from him and grew to love literature and to love writing. And then, of course, as the volleyball coach, he was inspiring in a different way. He was an excellent coach. So his name was Matt Mensch, and I think after he left teaching here, he went to Dover, where he finished his teaching career. The other person was my choir director.
Okay.
Her name was Melba Shank, and from her I just learned an awful lot about discipline and about always trying to be the best that you could be. She was just a wonderful, wonderful choir director.
So what did you do after high school?
After high school, I went to college at William and Mary down in Virginia, and prepared to be an English teacher. That was my major, and then eventually came back here to teach.
After you left college, you came back home and married your high school sweetheart.
I did.
Did you always know that he was the one? Like, how did you know?
How do you know in how do you know in ninth grade? We actually started, I think our first date was to the spring play in ninth grade. And we dated all through high school, and he went to Gettysburg to college, so we were pretty far apart. But I think really the proof was that we could sustain that relationship being apart for 4 years. Being apart for 4 years. And I don't know, I just knew it was the one.
So you came back to teach at Susquehanna. How did you know you wanted to be a teacher? You said you always knew. What was it about teaching?
I think I knew from the time I started school. I think I was 6 years old when I knew I wanted to be a teacher.
Wow.
And, you know, there are various theories in my family about why that would happen, mainly that I was the first child and the bossy child, and I, you know, wanted to be in charge of everything. But I think the real reason is I always loved school from the time I started. And I loved school, I loved learning, I always admired my teachers. I thought it would be neat to be one.
Did you ever think about doing anything else?
No.
No.
Oddly enough. Now you have to realize, growing up in the late 50s and 60s, that women didn't quite have as many options as you people do now. So coming from a small community, your options would be to be a nurse, a secretary, a teacher.
Good thing you love teaching.
Good thing I love teaching. And I'm so glad that women today have a lot more opportunities. I'm not sure if I'd had those opportunities if I'd still be teaching.
Your children also attended Susquehanna.
They did.
What are they like? What are they up to now?
My daughter is married and lives in Northern Virginia, in Fairfax, and she's a stay-at-home mom with 2 boys, 8 and 5.
Ooh.
They keep her busy. They keep her busy. And my son lives in Washington, D.C., and he's a financial consultant. He just recently returned to the States. He had been in England for 3 years, getting his MBA and working over in London for a while, and then he decided to come back.
Glad to have
the
him
States.
back.
Oh yeah, and they're within driving distance, so it's very nice.
Good. How does it make you feel that you, your husband, and your 2 children all went to the school that you went to and taught at?
It's like a family business, isn't it? I feel very good about. I think I got and my husband got the best education we could get for the time and for the school district, the small rural school district that we were in. When I watched my children go through, I realized how lucky they were in that you could see a progression. The education that they got was better than I got, as it should have been. And in the years since they graduated and have moved on, I've just been really proud of this school district and the way we've continued to grow and the opportunities we've been able to provide the kids that go here. I'm just really proud to be a warrior.
So how have you seen the high school change throughout the years? You said there are more opportunities.
Oh
and
yeah.
Things like that.
Well, just the physical facilities, for instance, I've been here now through 3 renovations. When I came here, Susquehanna was a little J-shaped building with a courtyard in the back.
Wow.
And classrooms added. The cafeteria that we have now used to be the auditorium back in those days. We had one little gym, the old gym, the auxiliary gym. Cafeteria was in the basement. We have expanded so much, and things like this studio have been added. The English Tower, where I spent my last 8 years. The programs that they have downstairs. Mr. Bowers, I understand, is teaching the video and photography
like
programs. Just marvelous. All those things have been added. The building expanded, programs have been added. People have real choices in what they want to do.
Were you involved in any special activities, like when you were teaching here and things like that?
Well, I taught in 2 phases. The first 4 years, when I was in my 20s, and a lot more fit, I coached 2 sports. I coached field hockey and I coached volleyball. And then I was also the yearbook advisor. And yearbook at that time was an after-school activity. Then I stayed home for 10 years, rather extended maternity leave, and 10 years later when I came back with 2 small children, I knew I couldn't devote the time to that, but I kept the yearbook. I did yearbook advising, picked up National Honor Society, and for a period of time, when the English department was in charge of putting on the plays, a long time ago, we each took a job, and my job was to design the sets and to build them with the help of a local contractor who would come in and help us build them. So, yeah, a little bit of theater, a little bit of
coaching,
a little bit of journalism, and just the odd jobs that came along. For years, I've been the coach of the graduation speakers, the valedictorian and the salutatorian, and it was always fun to work with them.
So do you have any advice to give to the graduating class this year?
Do you want the short lecture, the long lecture? No. They should just be prepared to go out and make the most of every opportunity that they have. The world has just opened up so much. There are just so many chances for them to find what they really want to do and have a good career at it. That and I hope they all get a chance to travel. I didn't, but my kids did, and I always urged my seniors every year that I taught that if they had the chance to travel, to take studies abroad, that they should do that.
Okay. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for joining us today.
You're welcome.
And thank you to those watching this episode of Alumni Pride. For everyone here at Warrior TV, I'm Mia Cooley. Have a great day.